So this is one of our bigger grower spaces. We've got a self-watering system. It's fed off a 450 litre tank. At the base is a reservoir with a float valve. Once the reservoir is full, the float valve lifts up and cuts off the supply, and then the pots will take up the nutrients, which is cocoa coir and perlite. We've also got some cracky systems on the side as well, just to trial them. And we've got a flood and drain system behind you. They've all done really well. We've got a variety of different chilies, we've got tomatoes, we've got some soft fruit, we've got some strawberries, which are always popular, and we've also got some herbs in some self-watering troughs as well. We've got our cracky systems, which is just simply a tub with a neck up in the top that the plant is placed in. It's filled with nutrient solution just so it touches the base of the neck cup, and then as the roots grow, they grow into the solution. As the nutrient solution level drops, it creates an air gap, and new roots will be set out which are designed for taking in oxygen. That way it can grow with its roots still submerged in the nutrient solution and still get oxygen as well.
My name is Warren and I'm from Snowdon Valley Farm. We're a vertical farm based in Wyneveld, just outside Carnarvon. And we were founded in 2021 and we've been growing since then. Basically, I started looking for land to grow organic vegetables, and I was struggling to actually find appropriate land, so I already started looking into vertical farming, and I happened to end up pairing up with partnering with a sort of a local sheep farmer, and we felt that sort of, controlled environment agriculture was the best way forward. That way we could, bring nutrient-dense food to our local hospitality sector and to our sort of local community, and be more, pesticide-free and herbicide-free. So we have two purpose-built hydroponic systems which can take 80 racks, and each one is capable of producing about 25 kgs of, say, pea shoots each week.
I'm Catherine, and I got a gin, vodka and rum business, mainly based on fruit, which I grow, but it's expanding into just botanical flavours now. And with the help of Horticulture Wales, I'm exploring even more flavours. The flavours are based on what I grow, and what I grow are fruits that will grow in the environment that I live, and I research that, and then the next stage is I buy a few of the bushes and then sample what comes from the bushes. If I can't sample them elsewhere first, then I'll buy a few myself, give them a few seasons to see how they get on. Because I'm all about organic and low impact, giving more back to the environment than you take away from the environment. So I don't want to plant things that require lots of upkeep, if you like. I want to plant things that will survive in the natural environment. Based up on a hill in North Wales, it's quite tricky.
So we've just been trialling different systems just to see sort of what works out better, what's more effective, and then we can feed that information back to our cluster members who are interested in investing into hydroponic equipment. The quality seems to be better. The feedback that we're getting is the flavours are a lot stronger than what they're used to. I feel that hydroponics as well, there is a learning curve, but once you get used to doing running the systems and sorting out the nutrient solutions, it's more forgiving as well, because you haven't got those elements. You're not fighting against the weather and different situations and pests.
From a side of sort of keeping things clean was one element, and there was also a huge environmental consideration. So the first thing is, on the farm that we are, is all the water is spring water, and all the power is generated through hydroelectric power on site, so 100% renewable. But using hydroponics was a way that we could grow clean produce in a controlled environment, no pesticides, or fewer pests, shall we say, and they grow quicker. And ultimately, when it comes to harvesting, we can take a crop straight to the customer, which hasn't been sort of adulterated too much. It's a clean product, basically.
Okay, well, when I first came up to the Horticulture Wales area, I got shown around and had a look at all the different herbs, and the very, very first thing that came to me was the overwhelming aroma in the rooms, because they just smelt so beautiful. and I had a chance to pick them up and smell them, and they gave me a few cuttings which I could try, and the taste was so different. I took some cuttings home of some herbs that I was already growing at home. Purple sage was one that I already grew and already use, but the flavour was so much more, well, it's so much more prominent, I guess, from the ones that were grown using the hydroponics. I just couldn't believe the difference, to be honest. It's going to be quite tricky because I've set up a recipe that I use to make the gin, and I use different amounts of different products, and I know that that makes them all match together with the flavour profiles. So using something from hydroponics, maybe I don't even need to use as much as I do already, which again, it's going to be sustainable, isn't it? So you're not using as much but getting the same flavours coming through.
In the early days, we sort of, we'd gone out and we'd acquired all these customers, and we were buzzing. And then we sort of thought, hang on, the orders aren't coming in. We got really worried, and we ended up contacting them, going, is everything okay? And they said, no, everything's fine. We're just not used to things lasting this long. So it was a good, from our side, we were relieved, but also the fact that they actually taste better. That they're more robust, they're more flavoursome. And yeah, there's probably fewer blemishes because they're harvested and distributed straight away. There's no time sort of held in storage.
When I first got in touch with Horticulture Wales, or they got in touch with me, I came and had a look at what they were doing here and tried a few of the herbs that they'd grown, and I took some away to try them together and found that you get much more of a flavour from herbs that are grown using the hydroponics. So hopefully things can move on a bit more, and then I can use those in making maybe a more flavoured gin, which is, where I'd like to go, really. I
think that transparency from Hort Wales is the one thing which is great, because a lot of people you look at sort of their Instagram feed and everything's perfect, and nothing is ever 100% perfect. And the fact that they're able to sort of portray growing in these systems as true to form as possible, and the fact that that they've always been there to support each other, and the cluster meetings that we've been able to sort of get involved with and sort of bounce ideas with each other and sort of work together as best as possible.
I've got so much going on already that I think if I can maintain the link with Horticulture Wales and continue to use Horticulture Wales, then that would be my preferred option, because they've got the expertise, they've got the infrastructure already set up,